Hello.
Where are you joining from, Sadai?
I am joining from India. How about you?
I'm joining from the US.
How's the weather there? Let's start there.
It's been raining a lot in the Southwest, which is a rare occurrence, but I'm very happy because it means it's much cooler right now. How about you?
It's a little humid, and while I know all of you get to enjoy the winters and the snow and all of that, I don't get to do that as much. So I'm getting used to the humid weather here and just feeling like the winters is here and the Christmas is almost around the corner with all the images that I look at and with the people that I talk to. Yeah, not so much wintry weather yet.
Hmm. I hadn't really thought of that. Yeah, my growing up, my winters were very humid from where I used to live then.
Mhm. I see a couple of folks in the chat who are joining us in between their lectures. Do you want to give them any advice, real quick?
Pay attention in school. Come back to Global Hack Week when you're free. Don't try to like dual wield streams.
That's exactly what I would have also told them. But there's a lot of folks coming from different parts of the world joining us today, and we'd really, really love to see all of that. I see a few questions also popping in the chat. Well, we'll have a dedicated Q&A towards the end, and we'll also keep picking questions when we progress through our slides and tell you more about this week. But keep your questions coming in case we miss it. Feel free to post it a couple of times or even more than that. That's completely okay. I know this particular Global Hack Week theme, Open Source Week, is really, really popular because it's also the time of the world of open source celebrating and people from open source world coming together to celebrate this as part of Hacktoberfest. Cecilia, do you remember when was the first time you were getting your hands into the Hacktoberfest world, writing the first lines of code, contributing, any of that?
So I actually have never participated in Hacktober, mostly because I was too terrified for the longest time. And then I made a little baby PR to like an actual like repo that people use. I think a couple years ago, and that was just outside of Hacktoberfest. And honestly, that's kept me coasting. I know that people are always so excited. I heard my friends talk about it. I'm like, that's so cool. I'm just not there yet because the way that I use things is not something that lets me be someone who can make PRs. Knowing though that there's plenty of different kinds of PRs to make, I found some broken links in the documentation and was like, I can fix this. And that was a nice like way to build myself up to things. But I actually largely work on private projects, so I don't have a lot of public commissions.
That makes sense. Well, for I'm sure most people in the chat are also in that stage where they don't know where to get started and are looking for some helping hands to drive them through that process and to tell them more about the open source world. That's exactly what we plan to do throughout this week, and we'll tell you more about that. And like Cecilia pointed out, it's always not writing a piece of code that'll make you an open source contributor. Well, there's a lot that happens in the form of code that you can contribute to, but you can always talk about your favorite open source projects online, go start them to show them love. You may also be able to design their logo, design some UI for them. There's several things that you can do throughout this time. So don't let yourself lose out on that opportunity thinking that you don't know a lot of code. Everybody knows how to get started, and you have plenty of opportunities to get that done this week. It looks like we have still folks telling us in the chat where they're joining in from. We love to see that. But should we get started with quick round of introductions and
I
then to
think
tell them more
so.
about it?
I
Cool.
absolutely think so. All right.
That's
So
fine.
first off, my name is Cecilia. I'm a coach at Major League Hacking. I use she/her pronouns, and I am back to working on a sweater I was supposed to be done last Christmas, or maybe 2 Christmases ago. It's been a bit, but my goal is to start making some headway. I know I'm past the halfway point, so I'm really excited to get back to it.
Nice. Will we get to see pictures on Discord when you're done with it?
I will make the effort to do so because I don't normally post on Discord because I'm like, I need to like finish my crafts for the year and be like, this is the craft review, is what I do on my crafting Discord actually. But that's I might post progress updates as a way to keep me accountable. How about that?
Yes, let's do that.
I will try. People need to remind me at Today in Global Hack Week throughout the week and be like, you haven't posted pictures, and I'll be like, oop, I'll go do that.
Well, for all of you in the chat, you have now a new task to complete. We'll probably add this as one of the challenges for the week, which is go remind Cecilia to post a picture. How about that?
That's an easy challenge. They already have so many easy ones.
Of course, yes. Well, next up is me. My name is Siddharth. I work as a first party events coordinator at Major League Hacking, which means that I get to work on all of our first party events, including Global Hack Weeks. And if you were at any of our digital hackathons that happen over on MLH Community Discord, I would get to work on that as well. Also, a quick shout out and highlight that we're going to have another one of our digital hackathons up next weekend. I think that's the 17th of the Friday, if I remember my dates correctly. But yes, we have all of that listed on our website if you want to go check that out. As part of my work at MLH, I also get to work with our student hackathon community organizers to essentially get together to work with them and make sure that they host high quality events. And my fun fact here, well, I was reminded by other people who were talking about new things that they've started to do recently that I am not doing anything new, which is why I am on the hunt for anything new that you can propose that I should go do. It can be your hobby that you really enjoy doing. Get me any ideas that you have out there. I'm really, really in need of something new that I want to try out. Cecilia, I see you thinking already. Do you have anything for me?
I have a list.
You do? Okay, send it over. I want something to start with now.
All right. I'll come up with a list. It might be later today because I got a couple other things, but I got a few things, and I'm like, depending on how much money you want to spend.
I mean, sky's the limit with all the ideas, but I love to see how much my limit can be with in terms of budget. There's someone saying that I should learn an instrument. Um, well, I have tried learning instruments in the past, and then I stop midway-ish when I think that I know a couple of things about it. So I have a whole bunch of instruments laying back there, but I think I need to find something else than learning an instrument because I don't do justice to those instruments when they are at home and then I've used them a couple of times. There's another interesting idea, Cecilia. How about this?
That hurts my soul. Did you know okay? So there's actually a fun fact here. To like take out knitting or to like take the yarn and just pull, when it unravels, that is called frogging.
Oh,
Like the ribbit, like the little animal that you.
uh-huh.
And the reason it's called that is purely because you are ripping out the sweater and you are rip it, and so it sounds like the frog sound. So it's called frogging. Frogging your work.
Oh, nice. I never knew that was a skill. Do you think that also qualifies to be a hobby?
I mean, if you go and buy used sweaters that are knitted and you want to like ball up the yarn to use elsewhere, that's an option.
Yes, that is for sure. Well, I have more things coming in the list. I'll get to that in just a little bit while we progress. But because we have a lot to tell you about here, we want to get started and tell you all about what this week is going to be and everything that you need to know. Well, before we get any further, I want to make sure that you know that this recording, the recording of the stream, and everything else that happens during this week will be on YouTube. So don't worry too much about taking notes or not being able to understand what's going on right here. You will get to watch this recording as many times as you want. And like I said, we're also going to have a dedicated Q&A towards the end where you can come and ask us questions and we'll be very, very happy to answer those for you. But first up, you've probably seen this word coming up several times, and you probably are wondering what that is. Well, Global Hack Week is hosted by Major League Hacking. But for you to understand a little bit more about Global Hack Weeks, we want to begin by telling you what Major League Hacking is and what we do. Well, Major League Hacking runs the global hacker community, and it's a mission to empower hackers just like all of you. And while you come to any of our events, our fellowship alternative, which is called the MLH Fellowship, all of those are ways for us to be empowering the hacker community. And by being at this event and any of the MLH events, you are being part of a community that has over 1.2 million hackers. Yes, you heard that number correct. It's 1.2 million hackers. If this is your first time coming to a Global Hack Week, we want to extend a really warm welcome to you. And don't worry about what's happening right now. We'll give you a thorough explanation of what you need to expect for the week. But like 404 here is already beating us with all the links that need to be in the chat. If you are a regular Global Hack Week hacker, we are really, really equally excited to have you here because you are the reason that we are able to support our community on Discord who come to us with questions and make also first-time hackers to the Global Hack Week community feel supported while maybe all of our staff are out there busy sleeping or getting other work done. You are the reason that we are able to answer those questions much faster as they come in on Discord. And you are also the reason that we have such an active chat like it is right now. But let's go further and talk about what Global Hack Weeks are. Cecilia, do you want to take this up?
Absolutely. So as far as what Global Hack Weeks are, they happen every month and we have a different theme. So of course, this month is Hacktoberfest. We're all about open source and making sure that you have the skills that you need the next few days. Sorry, I forgot to grab water. But point is, you have all sorts of different skills you'll be learning throughout the week with our coaches, with various partners who are here to build your developer journey. So we're looking forward to seeing what challenges you'll work on. But as far as what makes Open Source Week special, it's all sorts of partners and resources, like I said, who are building you up. And we've got quite a few exciting ones. To start us off, we have Figma. If you have never done design work or you're kind of scared to start, Figma is a great place to start. We'll have workshops at 1 p.m. Eastern today and tomorrow. I'll be running one of them. And as long as you're able to sign up for a Figma education account, you get some wonderful access to things like once you've built your design, what does it look like in CSS or HTML or everything else that you might need if you're doing iOS or Android? There are lots of beginner-friendly design challenges to work on to get you started on what you could possibly need to begin your designer journey. Because we are more than just code monkeys at heart who can write code but maybe look at a website and go, Our goal is to make it just a bit more comfortable for you. And personally, I do have a background in design, so I can give you all the tips and tricks of what to think about during our workshop later today. Then we have GitHub. We have workshops at 2 p.m. Eastern today and 11 a.m. tomorrow. And signing up for the GitHub Student Developer Pack, if you've been to any one of my GitHub streams, you'll know that I love the Student Developer Pack. It has so many resources for you, from cloud credits to tutorials to tools that you may have not thought of using, database accesses. Things that normally you would pay for are available to you for free. And GitHub has gone above and beyond to find partners that they want to share with you and vice versa. So all sorts of experimentation can happen with the Student Developer Pack, but we also want to make sure that you walk away having skills, knowing what you can do with Git and GitHub. So consider joining those workshops, complete some beginner-friendly challenges, and go ahead and, again, build up that developer journey. We're getting you ready for open source with everything you might need. And next, a fan favorite of mine, I love all these partners. We also have MongoDB. So we have workshops at 12 p.m. Eastern today and 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, on Monday. Mongo has been joining us for a couple months now. And with it, you are able to take some of their skills badges courses. And by doing so, as long as you complete one, you get a special sticker, which, as someone who collects stickers, and if you've heard about that one, I have quite a few. I'm quite jealous. I have not run into that yet. I know they are showing up at events, but as long as you complete one of the skills courses, you are eligible for lots of extra knowledge and, of course, that special sticker. But once again, we have plenty of beginner-friendly technical challenges to work on to get you started on how you might use Mongo in your projects, which, as you think about, hey, maybe it's not that I want to contribute to an existing open source project, but I want to run my own, chances are you're going to need a database. And depending on how you're prototyping, MongoDB is an excellent place to start because it's so flexible and works with that ever-changing scope. And if you want to lead us through checking in.
Yes, of course. Well, Cecilia has already told you a lot of exciting things that you can expect this week. But before we get there, we want to make sure that you have access to all the different tools that we're going to use this time, and we are also getting you checked in. So the first thing that you need to do is to go to this link, and I'll put that in the chat.
You focus on saying stuff.
Cool. So all you need to do is first go to this link, and I can see that it's posted 6 times in total now in the chat with all of us fighting for it. But go to that link, that you will find a page where you can register and check in. The way that you need to make sure that you register and check in is to click a button that you see on the screen, and if it turns green and it says join the event, you are successfully checked in. That's one way for us to know that you were at this Global Hack Week. That makes you eligible for any points that you're going to earn. We'll talk about that in just a bit. And also swag that you are eligible for or going to be eligible for this week. Next up, we also want you to check into each live stream that you attend. I'm sure some of you curious folks would have already gone through the website, the Global Hack Week website, and have gone through the schedule and have planned things out for yourself. While you are on that schedule, if you were to click on any of the cards on there, which list down all the different streams, you would have noticed that you are redirected to a page that looks like what's there on the screenshot. We want you to register and check in for those individual live streams, the ones that you go attend. We'll tell you why that's important in a bit. But I want to make sure that you start earning points and start registering for events through this link that I put in the chat, which is for the opening ceremony that you're attending right now. When you go check into these events, you start earning points. And for every stream that you check into, you will earn 1 point. And for challenges that you attempt, you'll also earn a point for that. We'll tell you more about challenges and live stream in a bit. But that also tells us what events that you're most interested in, what excites you the most, and it helps us plan the schedule for the upcoming Global Hack Weeks even better. So that's the first thing that you need to get done. But I talked a little bit about swag and points and all of that here. But I want to tell you more about what swag is, because I know most people in the chat, or almost everyone, including Cecilia and I, are very, very excited about swag. The first piece of swag that you can earn can be earned right now. All you need to do is go back to the same link that we dropped in the chat, which is this one here. And if you scroll down all the way through that page, somewhere at the bottom, you will see a section called resources, which already has a digital swag that you can claim right away. But it's a really cute Global Hack Week branded frame that you can use to put in your picture, or uh, it doesn't always only have to be you alone there. If you have a fun set of picture with all of your friends, or something from the previous hackathon that you went to, and you want to now go and tell the world that you are hacking at Global Hack Week Open Source Week, this is a great opportunity for you to go use that, post it on your socials. And when you do that, make sure you also tag us. All you need to do is go search for Major League Hacking. I think on most of our platforms, our username is ML Hacks or MLHACKS. But you can go and search for us. Make sure to tag us, because we always, always reshare all of the good photos and all of the content that you share online. But that's not just it. You get to first start your journey of earning physical swag by earning what's called basic swag. And there's three things that you need to do to get started. The first is to register and check into the main event. That's on mlh.link/global hack weeks. And I'm sure all of you would have done that already, because we talked about that. The second thing that you need to do is to submit your address, so we know where to send the swag that you're going to earn this week. And let's see who beats.
Yeah,
Okay.
that one very
Is
clear.
already that. So that's the address form that you can go fill up. If you fill this in the recent past, you don't need to go fill it again. But if you feel like you've moved to a different address and we should be sending your swag to a different place, please go ahead and update that for us. The third thing that you need to do is complete the list of featured challenges that's on that link. I'll wait for 404. The link is already here. But this is the link that you need to go click on, which is the challenges dashboard. We'll talk about challenges in just a little bit. But you will find a list of sign-up challenges that will be very easy for you to finish off. I think we have about 30 minutes more here on the stream, and you should be able to get all of the 3 steps done even before we wrap up opening ceremony. So your steps to complete basic swag is just maybe 5 or 10 minutes away. So get started with all of those. If you have any trouble in that process, come and tell us in the chat, and we can help you right here, right now. But that's not it. While you have earned basic swag, we want to give you an opportunity to earn more swag, and we call that bonus swag in this case. If you were to go in and check into 5 or more live streams, and remember we talked about going into that live stream page and clicking on the register button and checking in for it. If you were to do that for at least 5 live events or 5 events this week, you also get some bonus swag, which is going to be additional swag in addition to what you've earned as basic swag already. And I'm getting distracted by the chat here. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But that's not it yet. We also have what is called MongoDB swag. And Cecilia talked a little bit about it when we were talking about MongoDB workshop that are going to run this week and all the different challenges that you can work on. Well, skill badges are your way to tell the world that you have been upskilling yourself and getting a better understanding of MongoDB and different things that you can do with MongoDB. I like to always tell folks that this is also a sort of certificate that you can post online and tell folks what you've been doing throughout the week in terms of your learning journey with technology. And it's really, really helpful for you to stand out of the crowd, but to also give you a little extra to be able to complete that skills badge challenge throughout the week. If you want to complete at least one of them, you also get a special sticker. And Cecilia already talked about how jealous she is that she doesn't get to get this sticker here, but I really, really love it. And I've seen this in person, so I know how really cool and really cute it looks like when you get this on your laptops. Or if you're someone like Cecilia who doesn't like to stick it on her laptop but wants to collect it in a box somewhere, it also looks equally well cute when you have it in a box. So this is really, really, really awesome for you to collect. And I can already see Cecilia looking back to her collection of stickers.
Of Ziploc bags full of stickers. It's not very pretty.
Yes, this is definitely an exclusive collectible that you only get by going to Global Hack Weeks and completing at least one skill mass challenge to make sure you really, really get it. Cecilia, just keep an eye out on the questions in the chat. I think like we have too many already, but if there's anything that you want to answer right away, we can get to it. But while Cecilia looks for it, I'm going to talk quickly about surprise prizes. This is a way for us to thank anybody and everybody who is super helpful and active in the chat throughout the week, in the stream chat, that is, or if you were on Discord all throughout the week helping other hackers or just sharing whatever you're doing this week. Our streamers, coaches, MLH staff will come around to give some folks a surprise prize. And these are in addition to any other swag that you will win this week. You can expect anything from a fanny pack or an MLH t-shirt, anything from what we can surprise you with is we try and send it out to you. But to get things started, I think, Cecilia, this is a good time for us to do a swag drop.
Ooh, I guess it is. We do have quite a few questions about getting swag, actually, if we want to run through that before, or maybe folks can answer questions for us, and maybe that's the surprise. We'll pick someone who answers some of the questions in the chat. We've got a few questions from various people in the chat asking about how to claim it or how to verify themselves in Discord through my MLH. Some people are mentioning that they haven't gotten swag yet, and honestly, I'll save that answer for chat to answer. A few folks I think in the crowd do know, so maybe they'll be able to help us out because there's quite a few of you asking questions, and we can only answer so many.
And while we wait for everybody to answer, I'll go ahead and quickly answer that because I know there's going to be a little bit of lag. And then when the chat starts popping up, we're going to just close our eyes, scroll through, and find one winner here for us. But for the first question around not being able to send messages and the process of linking your Discord account with my MLH not working. Well, I've seen a couple of times that it fails for folks the first time they do it. I think the easy way for you to is just go back to your my MLH profile and I think it's called settings or profile, where you can find all the different accounts that you have linked to your my MLH account. If you see that it's already linked, go ahead and disconnect it first. Go back, start from, and I know we have not talked about Discord yet, but for folks who have asked this question already, all you can do is go back and follow the same process to link your accounts. It should hopefully work the second time you do this. But if you're still facing issues, open up a Discord ticket. I'm hoping you know that already, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Let us know what's going wrong. Give us any screenshots that may be helpful for our team to investigate, and we'll help you that real quick. For the second question about you waiting for swag, we have a shipping timeline that we've already mentioned on our Discord. I think the channel is called Shipping and Swag FAQ, which mentions what timeline we follow in terms of shipping it out from our fulfillment center all the way to different parts of the world. So I'd highly recommend you go read through that. And then if you still have questions, I will drop a link in the chat that you can reach out to. That's your way to reach out to our shipping team directly. And I have it in the chat. Just go email them and they'll be really happy to help you here. But Cecilia, do you want to now pick a winner for our surprise prize?
I've actually been watching the questions just to see if there's anything that we know people don't know. So I believe the honor is yours.
Cool. So I'm going to be very fair. So I'm going to close my eyes, keep scrolling through the chat, click on one of the chat. Hopefully it's not from the MLH account, and then we're going to call them our winner. Cool. Here I go. I think I have a winner.
Oh, we do have an answer. Yay!
Yes. That is nice. Well, congratulations to the hacker here. I hope you're still hanging around here because we're going to tell you how you can redeem your swag. And we're going to do a lot of these surprise prize drops, if I can call it that, throughout the week. And a lot of these streamers will keep doing that. So make sure whenever you are on streams, keep an eye out for anything that's happening. We also do a couple of them over on Discord. So be active wherever you can and whenever you can. But for this hacker specifically and everybody else, I want to tell you a little bit about Discord as well. Like I said, open a support ticket on Discord to claim it. But let's talk about Discord real quick and tell you where all the fun throughout the week is going to happen. Well, all of this is going to happen on discord.mlh.io, and I'll wait for someone to drop that in the chat for me. But all of the different things that we do will be announced over on Discord, and it's also the place where the community gets together, not just for Global Hack Weeks, but for anything related to the world of hackers, the world of hackathons, for the world of technology. All of those discussions, all of the awesome content is on MLH Community Discord. All you need to do is go to that link and get started by going to a channel that's called Start Here. And this is what I was telling the other friend who asked about the linking issues. But all you need to do is look for a channel that says, or that's named Start Here, and that has a bunch of instructions that you can do to link your Discord account with your MyMLH account. And this is a way for us to verify that you are not a spammer and to make sure that you were using a legitimate account. There's also a helpful video that our engineering team created, I think a couple of months ago, which you can follow, and that's also linked in the channel right there, that you can follow, and it's a step-by-step process. It should not take you honestly more than 2 minutes. But like we told the other friend who had asked this question, if you still face issues, give it another shot. Go disconnect and try reconnecting again. If you still think something's wrong, just come back and tell us. But how do you really tell us what to do? I'll tell you that a little bit. Um, but you're probably in a spot where you've already connected your accounts. You can see all the different channels, but maybe don't have access to the global Hack Week channels yet. We've historically had a more complicated process in terms of getting roles for yourself. But at this Global Hack Week and every Global Hack Week or every MLH event that you attend moving forward, it's as simple as just going and registering for an event. If you were to register for an event, and if you've already registered for the main event that was on mlh.link/global hack week, you already have the Global Hack Week role. So you should be having access to all the different things that you need for this week. A quick way to verify that would be to look for a channel that's called Open Source Week. If you see a channel like that, and if you're able to send messages in there, you are all set for this week. Well, we talked a little bit about how do you get in touch with us earlier, but we may not have talked about support tickets yet. If you have any general questions, any general channel on MLH Community Discord is a good way for you to ask those questions. Let's imagine that you want to share some progress about some updates about the progress that you've made with any project that you're working on this weekend. There's a channel for that. If you want to share cute pictures of your pets, there's a channel for that as well. If you like 404 here, and I can see 404 already talking about pizza in the chat. If you are a fan of pizza or anything food, there's a channel for that as well. But in case you want to get in touch with our team, the MLH team directly, and if you have any questions that require you to share any personal information, say an email address that you want to share as part of helping us investigate the issue, you should only be sharing that with us through what we call as support tickets. And that's a way for you to communicate with us directly without having to share your personal information to everybody on that server. It's as simple as looking for a channel that's called support tickets. When you are on that, you will see different categories of tickets that you can open. One of them should be called Global Hack Week Support or Global Hack Week Tickets. Click on that, tell us who you are, give us your email address, tell us more about the problem that you're facing, and one of us from the team will be there to help you out real soon. Well, that's all about getting set up, but now starts the more important and interesting part about how you go about winning swag and all of that. Cecilia, do you want to tell us about challenges first?
Absolutely. So we have challenges throughout the week to keep you hacking at every point that you feel like you have the time and the energy to do so. And our goal is to make sure these challenges build you up. So you'll start small and do a couple easy, small coding prompts or design challenges and work your way up into slightly bigger things. And our goal is to make sure that you walk away feeling like you have a beginner's touch, enough that you can go off and do greater and bigger things later. So check out the challenges dashboard so that way you can get started. Now, as a reminder, if you do find bugs, go ahead and report it in the Discord on the bug reports channel. But I also want to make sure that you all are very aware that challenges close on the 16th of October at 8 a.m. Eastern. So these challenges are open for you to be eligible for points, particularly the featured challenges, which are marked with stars at the very top. And you can go ahead and scroll through, and most of those featured challenges are actually 5 to 10 minutes worth of effort. It's literally just signing up with our partners and making sure you're good to go. Then there's follow-up challenges to help challenge you and grow your knowledge and help you kind of feel for what you prefer to do with those tools and resources that we've gotten you access to. Make sure to read the daily points email. It starts going out tomorrow. So if you happen to complete anything today and you're wanting to know how much that got you, go ahead and check the email tomorrow. It'll be going out, I believe, every day after tomorrow. So every morning you'll be able to check in, see where you're at, and see how you're doing. And, maybe brag about how many challenges you've completed. Now, live streams. I know we're doing one, but what else do we have to know?
Well, I'm sure you've already figured where to come and watch us for live streams, but I want to tell everybody else who's probably going to watch this as a recording later on. When you're not working on challenges, when you're not attending lectures like some of the hackers in the chat, or when you're not doing other things, we want you to come and attend live streams because that's a big way for you to learn a new skill and then go back and implement them as projects, work on challenges that's related to it. And all of that will happen on our Twitch and YouTube channels. I see most of you in the chat are already watching us from either of those channels. But more specifically, if you were looking for closed captions for any live streams that you watch, YouTube has a built in feature that let you get that done. So make sure you're watching us on YouTube like that. But again, because we talked a little bit about live streams already, we want to tell you what the schedule has. If you want to go further, if you're curious, if you want to curate maybe a plan for yourself throughout the week with all the different streams that you want to go to, you can go to this link in the chat, which is ghw.mlh.io/schedule. That has all of the schedule for the next 6 days, 7 days already listed out there. I will kick us off by telling us what the stream is going to be about, the one that's right after opening ceremony. We'll have Rosendo from MLH come in and tell us about MongoDB. Like Cecilia told us already, MongoDB is one of the leading databases in the world. And this is a really important skill for you to have, because when we say that it's a leading database, we mean that most industries out there, most companies out there are also already using this, which means if you were already familiar with MongoDB, you are already far ahead of other folks who don't know it, and you are already probably one potential candidate that companies out there are looking to hire. Well, this one here is going to be a very beginner-friendly overview of MongoDB. Trusendo is going to come in and tell you a lot about how do you get started with databases, what kind of database is MongoDB, and then further getting you introduced to that platform to begin with. We'll have another one of these MongoDB sessions where Rosendo jumps into what we call as vector search, but that's going to happen a little later in the week. But make sure you start here, get an idea of what this is all about, and then go back, look at all the challenges that are on the challenges dashboard, and start your journey with MongoDB and the skills badges that we talked about. And I know right after this, Cecilia is going to come and tell us about Figma. Do you want to talk about that?
Absolutely. So, like I mentioned earlier, if you are scared of design or wanting it to get started or just curious how people make such incredible things, consider joining me at Figma to Code, where I'll teach you a little bit about some design thinking as well as how to use Figma in a way that benefits you, particularly in using dev mode to export your designs into CSS or your preferred editor. Language, maybe it's Swift UI, maybe it's something else. There are many options available. So join me in another hour and a half, I think, because it's 1 p.m. Eastern, and we'll get you started on beginning your designer journey.
Of course. Well, right after that, and I'm surprised Wei is not already watching us and texting in the chat. I've gotten used to Wei watching us while we do opening ceremony and come and say, "Hey, this is me. I'm doing this stream." But you will see Wei come at 2 p.m. Eastern. Wei is going to talk to us about this new feature that GitHub Copilot now has, which is called Agent Mode. I'm sure with all the different advancements in AI, you've already heard of what AI agents are. But more specifically with GitHub Copilot, and I know a bunch of you already are using GitHub Copilot and accelerating the way that you build projects. But with Agent Mode, you can go further than just simple code suggestions that GitHub Copilot used to make. Now it can run commands for you. You can use it to refactor code. It can also even help debug projects and code in real time while you're writing all of that. And that's going to be very important as a skill for you to learn, and a very important tool that you will have to sign up for to make sure that you can get things done really, really quick. And in this stream particularly, you're going to get an idea of how the agent works by using GitHub and MyMLH's MCP servers to work on your GitHub profile README. I know most people here maybe work on a good enough README for the projects that they build, but maybe we don't give enough attention to our own profile README, and we don't really use it as a way to showcase all the work that we are doing, both in terms of code and other things that you do outside of writing code. But this is a good way for you to maybe use an existing template and work on your GitHub profile README and make it look really, really good. And I also want to call out that Way knows a lot about MCPs, AI agents, and you're going to learn a lot with him. He's also going to run a dedicated track on MCPs a little later. We'll talk about that soon. But go register for it. Make sure you ask him all the questions related to GitHub, Copilot, AI, MCPs, AI agents, and he'll be very happy to answer any of those for you. Who's next, Cecilia?
Next up, we've got Vincent, who's doing open source and the cloud, and he'll be on 7 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 a.m. IST to explore the synergy between open source and cloud. And honestly, this is a great way to get started on looking at how open source projects are adapting to the current world of cloud and AI. I think it's a great stream to check out.
Yes, of course. And like I promised, Way is going to come back to do a dedicated track for MCP servers, and this is the part one of it. That's going to happen at 5 p.m. Eastern, which is 2:30 a.m. IST. You get to start with the basics and the definition of what MCPs is all the way up to building your own MCP server using an MCP server. You're all going to do that when you meet Way for the first stream. But make sure that you use this time to understand what that technology is, because I'm sure you've realized how big of a part and how important part AI and all that has become for us software developers and anybody who's trying to learn to write code, or anybody who has interest in technology in general. So make sure you use this opportunity to upskill yourself in a very, very quick way.
Then we've got a great chance for you to take a break by joining Vincent once again at Wikipedia Races, a fantastic mini event. You'll be joining him on Discord at 5 a.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. IST, as a way to take a break from hacking to race between Wikipedia pages.
Of course. I have a few questions in the chat that I want to really quickly answer. Are these all happening today? Yes. We have a really different way of calling what days at Global Hack Weeks are. So a day starts at 12 p.m. Eastern on a particular day, which I think for IST is 9:30 p.m. And then it ends on the next 12 p.m. of the next day. So for now, we have kickstarted day one with our Global Hack Week. And then tomorrow at 12 p.m., you're going to end day one and start day two. So all of these are happening in between that. You would have seen that we started with times that were in PM, and then we have switched to AM, which is why I think the confusion is coming in. There are other folks who are confused and don't know what to do because all the streams are at midnight. Well, we have content that runs close to 24 hours all throughout the week. And this is for us to make sure that everybody in different time zones has at least one stream that they can go attend. Like we said in the beginning, all of these streams have recordings that are going to be available on YouTube right after the stream ends. So you don't need to really be awake all night, and we really don't want you to be awake all night. If there's any stream that you're interested in, and if it really fits your time zone, just come in and attend that real time or watch it live. But if you think there's a stream that you're really, really, really passionate about, but it's going to be at midnight or at a very weird hour for you, just come back later on, watch the recording. And it's also going to be on our YouTube forever. So you don't need to be feeling pressurized to watch it during this week, but come back later whenever you think it's the right time and come watch it live. But going back to the schedule real quick, we next have Ryan Lalu coming for this Git Good with Git stream. I always struggle to say that in the first time, but this is my personal achievement that I said it right the first time. But he's going to come in at 11 a.m. Eastern, that's 8:30 p.m. IST, to make you all understand how GitHub works under the hood. I'm sure a lot of you have already used the UI version of GitHub and you understand different terminologies that you see on the platform. But there's something called as Git that in the background helps with version control and all the different. Whenever you click all the different buttons on the UI, there's a lot that happens in the background. And if you are a command line fan or a terminal fan, you will really love this because all that is going to happen inside of your terminal. So this is a great way to get started with not just with version control. Open source also heavily lives on GitHub as a platform and also utilizes Git in the background. So this is one skill that you need to learn even before you start to explore open source projects on GitHub. So make sure you make good use of this stream, ask Ryan all the questions, and then get started with your open source journey.
And we'll close off the day by telling you about what's happening tomorrow in Global Hack Week with Quinn. So join Quinn at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 p.m. IST to get to know what streams are coming up for you for tomorrow.
Yes. And then while you're going to all of these live streams, attending all of these mini events, we want you to come back and tell us all the good and bad things about you going to that event and what you really feel about the content that we deliver. This is only going to help us make Global Hack Weeks even better. And to everyone who's left feedback, we have a bunch of you who leave feedback after every Global Hack Week when I go review it. I want to really thank you for spending time to do this. I've never had that opportunity to do this before. But really thank you for giving us all that feedback. It really helps us improve every Global Hack Week that we do each month. But for anybody who's listening of this, hearing of this for the first time, it's as simple as you going and answer 5 questions. All you need to do is tell us which stream you're leaving this feedback for. Tell us what you liked about it. Tell us what you want us to be improving. And just hit the submit button. Wouldn't take more than 2 minutes. And we also run raffle throughout the week and give it to one lucky winner at least who fills this form. So this is also another additional opportunity for swag if you want it, but it really helps us make things better. But speaking of survey and speaking of feedback, we also have our community census live this time around. If you are a Global Hack Week regular or an MLH community regular, you've probably seen this go out several times a year already. But if you are new to the community, this is one way for us to collect feedback from the broader community of anybody who's attended an MLH event in the recent past. And this is a way for you to tell us not just about Global Hack Week specifically, but everything that we do in the MLH ecosystem, which means if you've gone to one of our member events that's run by student organizers, you can tell us how we can better support the organizer community. If you've gone to any of the first party events that we've organized, you can tell us about that. If you want us to be running any new programs, you can also tell us about that. So everything that you can imagine that you feel will be helpful for us to do or is really important for us to do that will help us empower the student community and the hacker community better, you get to tell us all of that in the season census. And because this is a little bigger than our typical survey, we also do a raffle and give out one brand new MacBook or any other equivalent computer of your choice to one lucky winner. And we always post about who's won it, and we post a picture of them with the laptop once they have it on our socials as well. So if you were curious how this all works, you can also go back and scroll through our social media. But this is a way for us to collect feedback in general, understand what the community expects of us, and to be able to deliver that. Right. So make sure you also go here. We'll also keep reminding you of this maybe once every day when we have the Today in Global Hack Week streams. But just go start that off and then take your time to complete it. Well, next up, we talked about a lot that's happening. We talked about challenges, we talked about projects that we're going to build this weekend. But no Global Hack Week is complete without us giving hackers a platform to demo the projects that they're building this weekend. And this is a way for us to showcase the good work that you do, not just throughout the week, but in general, any other project that you're working on. It can be something that you built at school, it can be something that you envision to become a bigger business for you tomorrow and you're looking for some feedback, or more specifically at Open Source Week, if you've started an open source project and if you're looking for contributors, this will be a good way for you to come and demo your project and then particularly highlight and point out what is that you need help with. And then I'm sure a lot of excited folks in the community will be happy to jump in and help you with that. All you have to do to get things started is to go to this link, that's mlh.link/GHW demo. Once you are on that on the link, just tell us what is this project about, and then whoever is selected, we'll get in touch with them, and then we'll feature them either live on one of our Today in Global Hack Week streams, or if you prefer that one of us speaks about it during a live stream, we're also happy to do that. Just give us all of the details and we will run you through all of that. But talking about demos, we feel that it's not the right thing that we only talk about demos, but we should also kickstart and lead by example and show you a quick demo. But this time around, Cecilia has something to showcase. Do you want to take it up?
Yes, but I'm having technical difficulties. It's not letting me share my screen.
Yeah, I can go and take some questions while you're getting that done.
Let me pull myself off and refresh.
Cool. Take your time. So the first question we have here is, where do we find challenges? I am going to give you that link. And then depending on how much time Cecilia needs, I can also give you a quick demo. And I'm going to quick pin this chat. So that's where you're going to find challenges. It should be, we call it the challenges dashboard now. It has a list of things that you can go do. All of the ones that you see pinned on the top with the green little pin, a green little star-like looking thing, are all the featured challenges that you need to complete to be able to get your basic swag. Looking for other questions here. We talked about challenges already. And if there were other questions that you dropped in the chat earlier on and we probably did not get to it, feel free to post that again. I see someone saying how to check swag points. That's a good question. Well, every day we send you an email, and the first email will go out tomorrow. Expect this email to be out somewhere around the same time that we did opening ceremony today, so somewhere between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. Eastern. That's between 8:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. for folks in IST. You'll have to do the math to know what it is for other time zones. But every day on this email, we'll talk to you about anything exciting that's upcoming or during a particular day, anything else that you can do to get closer to winning swags, how many points have you earned, what is your leaderboard position looking like. We'll have all of that information in that email when it's sent out. So just keep an eye out for any email. I think it goes out from the email address hi@mlh.io. That should be easy for you to find. Right. There are other questions. I'm going to find there. Where can I find open source projects to come contribute? Are there MLH pack projects, or we can contribute to any of our choice? That's a really good question. We don't have projects that you can go contribute that are maintained by us at MLH, because we know there are better people out there who already have open source projects and they are very, very well maintained. Speaking of that, if you've already been part of the Hacktoberfest ecosystem, or if you've already contributed, uh, they have a list of projects that you can go contribute to. And I'm going to quickly find that link for you. And this is it. If you've not heard of Hacktoberfest yet, this is a month-long celebration of open source where everybody who's passionate about open source, or even is interested in open source in general and wants to get started with open source contribution, everybody gets together for one whole month, looks for open source projects that are looking for contributions, and then spends time doing open source contributions the whole month. And this is the link that I was talking about. If you go to github.com/topics/Hacktoberfest, or the easiest way for you to do this is to go to hacktoberfest.com. That's Hacktoberfest's official website. And I'm going to get myself a slide. Yeah. If you go to hacktoberfest.com, you will find all the different details that you need to know for Hacktoberfest. And this is the link particularly where you're going to find uh, projects that you can contribute to. Looking further.
So I have some frustrating news. StreamYard is not behaving and will not let me share anything at all.
But no worries. No worries. We'll keep trying in the background if that's possible. If not, we will do this some other day at one of the Today and Global Hack Week streams, maybe. But no worries, you all.
I can show up for Quinn's tomorrow if I figure out what's wrong.
Yeah, things happen. That's okay.
Thank you.
This is one of the times where, if you've ever been to a hackathon and you're going into present, you probably, and I see Cecilia.
Wait, hang on.
Okay.
Maybe it will work.
But if you've ever been to a hackathon, there's always a chance where everything works in while you're preparing for it, and then when you're on stage, the demo doesn't work. There's AV issues. That happens. Don't worry about it.
It wants to share Chrome tabs, but none of the stuff I have to share is on a Chrome tab.
That's okay. That happens.
Oh, that's frustrating.
But then we will get further. And on a serious note, we want to remind you that MLH hackathons are a safe space for everyone. And by being at this event, you're agreeing to abide by the MLH Code of Conduct. If you've never read that yet, I highly recommend you do so right now by visiting the link on your screens. The TLDR is to be respectful. Abuse and harassment are never tolerated at our events. Particularly with digital events, we like to remind folks that there's a human on the other side of the screens that you watch. It's never appropriate to comment on people's appearance. Even if you mean it as a compliment, it can make folks feel really uncomfortable. So it's best to keep all of those comments to yourself. If you are having any issues, please reach out to us using that email and phone number on the screen. If you're from a different region and in a different phone number that's specific to your region, we have those details on the link that's on screen. Well, with that, we want to thank all of our partners again and everybody who's running streams. We're going to introduce you to the partner technologies and everything cool that they're bringing for you this weekend. Cecilia is going to run a Figma workshop in just a little bit, but make sure that you use this opportunity to not just get introduced to these tools, but whenever you're feeling excited about any of those, dive straight into the challenges that are on the challenges dashboard, which is on ghw.mlh.io/challenges. And because when you learn a new technology, it's important for you to work on some challenges, do some hands-on, and that's a way for you to make sure that you're really upskilling and understanding all the different things that it involves. With that, we are at the almost end of the stream where we take up questions. We're going to do our job in scrolling up to the most that we can to see if there are any questions that we can find. But if you think that Cecilia and I are not getting to your question yet, please feel free to post that again in the chat. That's going to be easier for us to find. Let's look for questions. I see someone in the chat saying that they met Varshini and Maria at Shellhacks and they really loved working with them. Yes, they are part of the team. Super, super cool folks. I'm glad that you had fun. I'm going to go back and tell them that you were here watching this and they really had fun talking to you. What other questions do we have?
While you scroll up, I'll keep looking at the folks who are on the bottom.
Cool. There's a question about Hacktoberfest points getting added here. Well, yes and no. While we do not have a direct linkage between the things that you do there and here, I do have a challenge for you inside of the challenges dashboard, where whenever you make any progress on Hacktoberfest, you can come in and submit that to the Hacktoberfest challenge that we have for Open Source Week, and that will give you 1 point. Does this week involve actual coding or only sessions? It involves both. While you are watching streams, while this one was more of us getting together to tell you what this week has, all the other streams that you go to will have some sort of project coming out of it. As an example, the next stream that you go to, which is run by Rosendo will teach you all about MongoDB first and then show you ways to build a project, and then you can take it forward from there. While you go to the other stream right after that with Cecilia will actually show you how you can use Figma and create designs for yourself. How do you get production ready code from it? So there'll always be a action item that you can do right after that. Folks will do their best to complete as much as possible during that duration and get you all that you need to be able to finally bring that project live. But if you think they were not able to complete it, feel free to go to that later and post any questions on Discord if you have. But more specifically for challenges that are on the challenges dashboard, all that or most of them require you to write some code. That's probably the best place where you can get all hands-on, explore different technologies. We have a list of and bunch of things, a bunch of different technologies that you can try out as part of challenges. We hope that will be a good start for you, or maybe will keep you engaged in your coding journey. But in any case, if you feel that you want to do more than what is on challenges and more than what is being talked about uh, during these live streams, we really want you to work on different projects. And if there's anything cool that you build, just come to us, create a support ticket, tell us that you're building this. Also, go post it on a regular channel for folks to see it, and we will definitely make sure to give you a bonus swag, or maybe also give you a surprise prize. So make sure to share it with the rest of the world when you create really, really awesome projects. All right. Um, Yeah, I see another question here about, can we form teams with people from different countries? Yes, of course. Why Global Hack Weeks, we keep talking about Global Hack Weeks as a way for you to upskill. I think the bigger advantage of being able to get together in the form of a digital event, an online event, is that you don't have to be restricting yourselves with different international boundaries and where you can travel to. This allows you to be talking to anybody from any part of the world, and you can also team up with them with any project that you're trying to build and anything fun that you're trying to do as a group. The only thing that you need to make sure is our challenges dashboard does not allow you to submit projects as a team or submit to challenges as a team. All of you will individually have to submit that through your MyMLH accounts. But if you want to work together as a team, either using a voice channel on a Discord, or you're setting up a different voice channel somewhere, or talking or communicating over email, that's all really good. I think personally it's even more fun when you have a bigger group working on things together. So go for it, work on different things, and let us know what you're doing throughout the week. um let's go, let's look for other things. There's someone here who's done 13 contributions for Hacktoberfest. That is awesome. That's, I think, more than the total number of Hacktoberfest that I've been to, more than the total number of contributions that I've ever made in the whole of my existence. I'm really, really excited to see that you're doing so much to support the open source ecosystem. um, there's another question here about sign up for GitHub Student Developer Pack, but I don't have an active student ID. Well, that's a good question. We know that Student Developer Pack, signing up for GitHub Student Developer Pack requires you to be a student. But for all of you who are not a student anymore and have graduated, we have another challenge there that the name of that should be cannot sign up for GitHub Student Developer Pack. You can just go to that, submit to that, and in the description box that pops up, just tell us why weren't you able to sign up. In this case, it's because you've already graduated and you don't have a student ID. Just tell us that, and we'll automatically give you a bonus point for it, and it will not be a hurdle in your journey towards earning basic swag or bonus swag. So we have all of you covered.
And then, as people are asking, all streams will be on this YouTube channel. Absolutely. You can also catch them as recordings. So if you are here live joining us, I'd love to see you. I know that many of you are joining us from Twitch. But if you ever want to play it back and watch the whole video over again, whether it's because you want the links or anything else that we've mentioned, you can definitely check that out on the YouTube channel, Major League Hacking. And then throughout the week, like I said, anytime you can't make something, which we really encourage you to sleep, go to classes, go to work, do whatever you got to do, you can always go ahead and watch the YouTube recordings later on. Or if this is just a really busy week for you, we totally get it. These streams will be available after the fact as well. They never change. And you can always go ahead and watch previous Global Hack Weeks. If you're like, I want even more content, you can absolutely watch our past Global Hack Week streams. Those are already usually packaged into playlists for you. So that way you can go ahead and watch anything you'd like.
Of course. Do we have more questions down below?
We do. Yes, so that already counts. Fantastic. We love to see that folks have already signed up for the GitHub Student Pack already. That definitely counts. That will also be, I think, a option in the form, or just screenshotting that you have the developer pack is usually sufficient. I could be wrong on the exact submission process, but I do know that if you're already signed up, you don't have to do anything extra. Just follow the instructions to prove that you have it.
Right. All you need to do is just submit a screenshot that you already have it, and you should be good to go. All right. I think we're also nearing our time here, and we need to let Rosendo hop in and show you the magic of MongoDB. But any parting notes, any last minute advice that you want to give everybody watching us?
Just a reminder to join the Discord and make sure that if there's questions that we couldn't answer during stream, the community on Discord and a few full-timers who are checking in every so often will be able to answer your questions. And if there's something more personal, like needing some contact info, definitely consider opening a support ticket. We are always checking those and making sure folks are covered. And then if you win any surprise prizes throughout the week, make sure you screenshot when you've won when we put your user on screen, and make sure that you open a ticket so that way we can get your information and send you that surprise.
Yeah. Well, the TLDR is get together, have fun, learn a new skill. Let us know if you need any help. But I think that's our time, Cecilia, and we will call it a day. For everybody who joined, thank you so much. We have more exciting content coming up. This is just the start of Global Hack Weeks. We will see you all in another stream sometime during this week. But until then, happy hacking.
See you.